Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Let's plug some stuff.
Okay, I know that Brendan's belly flop competition is this weekend.
Is he calling it that? Is he calling it Brendan's belly flop competition? Because I think he should.
No,
I
I'm
kind
not
of
sure.
like the alliteration on that. Brendan's belly flop.
And it's right here in Baldwin, right?
Yeah, it's Bungalower. It's Brendan O'Connor. It's our friends from Cholo Dogs. It's Jordan, his team. And they're getting out there with Tactical Brewing, and they're doing a little belly flop contest. And yeah, I think it's the second annual.
Yeah,
and of course there will be Cholo Dogs. Of course there will be delicious handmade beer courtesy of Tactical Brewing. And Bungalow will be out there. Bungalower Buddies will be out there. It's going to be a damn fine time.
Yep. Also, if you want to join our texting service, just text 844-866-6326. Text BDM, just those three letters.
Yep. It'll say like, hey, do you want to get the occasional text message? And you just say yes.
Yep. And then once you're in, then you could opt out anytime, but you'll get the text from new merch, new events.
We don't abuse it. We do not abuse it. We use it so little that it's very hard to justify the cost.
Most people are like, are you still doing it? We're like, we're still doing it. We just don't send that much.
We don't want to be a bother. You know, like some of your
every day is too much.
Well, some of those
calm down.
The medical marijuana guys, because we don't have one linked to us right now. Believe me, if we did, I wouldn't be talking about this because at that point, everything they do is awesome because they're a client. But if they're not a client, I'll just say, True Leave, your texting was out of control. I don't need to wake to True Leave every morning with a new deal.
It was multiple times a day. I had to opt out.
It's too much. I opted out. So anyway, we try to keep ours.
You can't do one every day. That's egregious.
It's too much.
Like once.
We should, though. But like with bizarre stuff, right?
Just like random.
Like at 11 p.m. we'll be like, hey, you up?
What do you want? Why are you calling in the middle of us talking about stuff?
Excuse me?
Yeah, what do you want? Why are you calling right now? You're interrupting the show.
I'm Man Daddy, that's why.
Yeah, Man Daddy.
You were supposed to call us tomorrow, but that's fine.
You're supposed to call us tomorrow, Man Daddy. What's
I'm sure
up,
that
buddy?
was a miscommunication on Dom's end.
What? No, Dom told me today.
Oh, my God.
That's typical Dom.
If we'd have known, first of all, I had no idea Man Daddy was calling us. Second of all, if I'd have known, I'd had Man Daddy come in because he's a friend of the show and I like seeing his face. Second of all, Dom said yesterday or tomorrow, and now Man Daddy's calling us out of the blue, and then I yelled at you, and it's very rude, and I apologize.
It's okay. I'm used to having people be rude at me.
Yeah, but it's not fair because I love you, and it's not fair for me to be rude with somebody. This is one of my oldest entertainment Orlando buddies. Did you guys know that?
Well, you've known Man Daddy for a long time. I mean, God, what is
25 years, I'd say.
At least.
Because I've been broadcasting. We figured it out. And by the way, this is Man Daddy from the super metal band, and people get mad when I say that, so I'm going to say it more. From the super metal band, Gargamel, the best metal band you'll ever hear, and there's no other better metal band than Gargamel. And metal bands bands hate that.
Except for Trivium. Trivium last year was better than us, so we're just one behind Trivium.
One behind. We've always, all of us in the world have always just been one behind Trivium. But yeah, so I have known you since I was broadcasting at Real. I've done 27 years as of this year, so I've had to have known Man Daddy for 25 years. At least 20. But what's going on, man? How you doing?
Just enjoying this weather more than anything right now. This is just a gorgeous day out.
It really, really is. It's a beautiful day. And what were you going to say, Tom? You look
No.
like
Every time it's nice outside,
we're working.
The only thing I could think of is it's going to get worse.
Wow.
Like, I never think this is going to last. I know, but it's true, right? Like, it's not going to last like this.
I just want to, refresh everyone that I'm not the negative one here.
Yeah, it's going to
Good God, man.
Yeah, we get a little bit of this, and we know that this isn't real, and this is just it's like a taste of what it could be. But we've ruined it, so it'll never be like this. We're sure.
It's the calm before the storm, basically.
It really is.
Speaking of storms, you're calling in because
Speaking
you're going to be
hurricanes.
playing the hurricane party this year.
There it is. Yeah, so how long?
The big old hurricane party that's May 27th at West End, downtown Sanford, 5 big stages, 30 bands. It's a whole big shindig.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. How many times have you guys played the hurricane party?
This will be like our 6th time or 7th time, I think. We were supposed to play last year, but COVID got our drummer, and so we weren't able to play last year.
My
So
God.
we'll be playing this year inside, the main stage inside, right before Supervillains play outside.
Oh, nice. That's amazing. So everybody come inside, see some Gargamel, and then we'll all push outside and close it down. I love it. How long has Gargamel been a band at this point?
This is our 30-year anniversary this year.
God,
That's unbelievable.
30 years.
Man. Yeah, that is crazy.
30 years.
It is so crazy. And like, has the lineup changed to a point where like it has, but it sort of hasn't, right?
The current lineup, the drummer is the newest member. He's been in the band for about 3 years ago. So he came in right before COVID came. So it was a weird time to start in the band because we didn't really get to play as much. But the bassist has been in it for 27 years or so, and the keyboardist has been in it since pretty much the beginning. We're on our third guitarist. So I'm actually the only real original member
at
this point. Because originally we had Skyjack on guitar, and he's been gone forever, and Matt Lapham on bass, and Webb on drums. And we actually didn't have a keyboardist when we first started. Servo is our first keyboardist, so he didn't start until the band was around about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I remember that was one of the things that would set you guys so far apart is that you became, it was like when we go to see you play a show, and again, you can go sing with the Hurricane Party and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But then you started adding so many different little elements to your show, whether it be drops or sound effects or like remixing things or the ability to just like, I don't know, give it more depth. Was that something that you guys had always wanted to do before you got Servo or no?
It just kind of grew that way, really. We kind of tricked Servo to be in the band because we were playing a show at JJ Whispers for Drew Garabo, and we told him that we just wanted him to be on stage with us to play Simpsons samples. But I knew him because I was in a band with him previously called Mood Skin. It was originally called Talion. And so I knew that he was itching to get on stage.
Yeah.
And so I knew by getting him on a big stage, I knew it was going to be a packed house. And having him come with us, that eventually be like, hey, I got some ideas for the band. And so we kind of just tricked him into being a Gargamelian.
Yeah, and then you guys, then it added this layer to the band where the band became like sort of this, and hopefully this is an uber compliment, but at the time when I started listening to you, I was like, oh my God, these are the guys that enjoy fusion. These are the guys that enjoy jazz and funk and hip hop, and they're like Faith No More, and they use samples, and and the lead singer can sing beautifully, but he can also rap, and has great rhythm. So like it was like you guys were the Orlando Faith No More to me. So like
that is a huge compliment.
Well, when me and my wife talk about bands that we kind of like fell in love around, we both had a love, and she had been to shows and I had been to shows without being together. We had both gone and seen you guys because of that crazy stage show that you have. Again, you can see him at the Hurricane Party. Does it ever get tiring having to do that? Because you guys are a wild band.
No, it's getting weirder. I mean, with the stuff we're writing right now, we've got hopefully we'll be playing some new material at the Hurricane Party.
Nice.
But we have 2 new songs that are just getting way fusiony and more not fusiony but more proggy.
Okay.
And so we're going to do these 2 new songs that are more proggy, and then we're going to do a bunch of songs that are going to be a lot simpler and stuff like that. So we're always just trying to do new stuff, especially when we having a new member, having a new drummer, and he's bringing a lot of stuff to it and having us really change up how we look at stuff. So that's been fun.
That's awesome, man.
Man, Daddy, like I make the analogy to like even this podcast or other things that have been around long enough where you can really decide how long you want to go, right? Because I feel like a small, a band is like a small business in the fact that it has to support itself and it's in control of its own destiny. So after 30 years, you've got it down to, basically, we can continue to do Gargamel for as long as I want to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as we can do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
So do you look at how long it could go? Like, you start looking at your own, I guess, like, well, how long can I continue to sing and continue to do this? You're like, well, I probably got another 15, 20 years. I mean, how long do you think you can keep it going?
It's just as long as we enjoy doing it and people show up to see us do it. You know, I mean, that's basically it.
I think it should
all-
go beyond enjoyment because I know. Follow me.
Do it till you hate it.
Yeah, because it's now it gets to a point where you're like, well, I have to keep going just to see how far I can go.
Like me,
Like even in 10 years, you're like, well, I got to make it to 50.
I
even
kind
though
of
if
agree
I hate
with
it.
that. I mean, your name is Mandaddy, for Christ's sake. I do feel like you have to continue until you die. It's just you have to.
Like if me and Daniel, we make it another 15 year, 20 years.
God, I don't think so.
At that point, even if we hate it, if we hate every second
Even
of it,
if I hate it now. Why do you think I was yelling at Chuck when he called? I'm so mad.
Let's keep going to see what happens. Like you can't just stop. It's been too long. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, you have to test yourself. You know, I mean, you got to get to the point where it goes past enjoyment to just a challenge.
Yeah. Because then it's like, well, this is my life's work. 50 years of Gargamel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to make it to some absurd number. And then even that, after 50.
And then you got to let AI take over and just keep doing it.
Well, you got to go until you die on stage, right?
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm just saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, because
It's happened to a number of good singers have died on stage. So, you know, why not take it to that level?
that's the ultimate way to do it, right? Anyways, sorry, man.
No, the fact that I can still sing the way I do and the way I scream the way I do, and I'm actually feel like I'm screaming now better than I ever have. So it's kind of fun.
That's what do you think? Because we've seen singers.
Well, he
after
takes it really seriously, and anybody that's ever if you haven't seen Gargamel, you will, you know, it's amazing. You will hear Mandaddy sing, and you'll be like, oh, my God, that's so pretty. And then you will see him do some things with his voice, so you'll be like, oh, my God, that is terrifying.
Is that just genetic, or is that some regiment that you have with your voice?
It's actually a weird combination of the fact that my mother was a vocal coach, and so, but she never trained me. She was very adamant about not being involved with training me for some reason, but I was always around it. And so she put a fear of God into me when it comes to hurting your voice and how to just basically take care of it. And on top of that, when I was 19, I had cancer and had radiation therapy on my throat. And so I still think to this day that it gave me some sort of gamma power and helped my throat be
Radiation
a little more
throat.
genuine.
You need that,
Radiation
Tom.
throat.
Yeah, isn't that a great story?
Wow.
I remember now.
You had
Mandaddy,
throat cancer at 19?
I remember when you used to wear the device around your neck, right? The
Mort.
Yeah, Mort. He had
I still have them. I don't wear them, but I still have them.
Yeah, it was a. Well, I'll let you tell Tom what Mort was.
Mort was my Infusaport, which is a port that goes under the skin that goes straight into my heart. And so when I'd go in for chemotherapy, instead of having to get a bunch of needles in my arm, they just take one needle into my chest, and they could keep that in for 3-4 days at a time. And so when I had it taken out, I told them I wanted to keep it, and so I kept it and I had it as a necklace that I wore all the time.
Yeah, I would never see him without having that on his necklace. Again, one of the things that I think added to the legend that is Gargamel.
Imagine, Mandaddy, imagine telling your cancer doctor that after he gave you throat radiation, that you're like, hey, this guy is going to go on to not only do voiceover work for a lifetime, sing for a band for 30 years. You'd be like, that's a lie. That'll never happen. Like,
but also in a weird way,
he'll be able to talk, but sing for 30 years is a stretch.
But I want to also sprinkle aggressively on that. It's not like he just goes up there and he's singing he's singing
the whisper
Sinatra's
song.
hits. He's
Screaming.
He's going up there and he's doing, he's manipulating his voice and it's sideways, up and down, to the left, to the right, all over the place, and then like that. He can do animal noises.
What was that sound?
That was him.
Little yappy dog.
Yeah, so
don't do that. The cancer's back.
It's gone to his brain.
Yeah, let's plug one more time. The Hurricane Party is when, Sam?
Yep.
Saturday, May 27th.
Yep, 30 bands, 5 stages. You got Gargamel, you got the Expendables, you got supervillains playing 2 sets, Suicide Machines, Ballyhoo, Horizon, Flagman, Control This, Shabooms, Wolfface, just a ton of bands.
It's a great list, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I thought you were a telemarketer. I was gonna do the old Dan gets them good. You know, I do the same shtick I've done for 30 years. So,
Oh, there you go.
but yeah, thanks for calling, man. We love you, and good luck with the show. We can't wait to see you.
All right, thank you very much. Let me know. I'd love to come in and see your beautiful faces as well.
Yeah,
Cool.
we'll do it. We'll do it, man. See ya.
Definitely. All right, thank you all very much, man. Have a great evening, day. Excuse me. Enjoy the weather.
That is Mandaddy live from his.
I'm glad that worked
guessing his
out.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry I yelled at him.
No.
I felt really embarrassed because he's a friend of mine.
We did not know.
I don't like to yell at a friend of mine. Then he's like, oh, this guy's being a D-hat. He's giving me the shtick. And I was.
So Sam,
Expect more of those calls from other bands from the Hurricane Party because Dom will text me at
I
midnight.
kind of like it. I like that they just
With
call
the wrong
in.
date?
I like
Yeah.
that Dom does not respect your system, but he's like, I'm doing what I want. I'm just going to have him call in.
Yeah.
And I'll just step all over him. I
fine.
like that.
so Sam,
Yes.
you were
right
on,
back in it. Right back from vacation.
Yep, you were on vacation last week.
Good God, man. Got
went-
thrown into a random interview.
You went to Sedona, so tell us about it. I know you went golfing the first. I was following your pictures like a lot of us on social
I very
media.
much like that they went to another golf capital. You know, like one that like you could even arguably say is more beautiful, and went right for it. Like I like that.
But you've never played
That's
golf
like
before.
going
No.
to that's like going to Hawaii and going to like literally Waimea Bay and taking a surfboard and going, we're doing that. I like that.
Yeah.
Nah, you know, we just we wanted to do different stuff
Outside.
that we'd never done before. And our buddy Tommy Gilligan, he was telling us how great the courses are out there. So we're like, hey, while we're there, let's get
Beautiful.
a good game in before we
Beautiful.
check into our Airbnb. So we did that.
The it makes me mad that
Okay.
the
Yeah. Your whole vacation made
no,
him
no,
mad.
no, no. The courses
Oh.
in Arizona, like the grass seems greener.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
It's a
why?
desert.
Because it's a desert. Like we've been to courses here in Florida that the grass is brown, and
Well,
I'm
no,
just like,
not the one we were at when we were out at Arnold Palmer. That
Oh,
looked like
what?
Sedona
I mean-
grass. That was Sedona green grass.
yeah. I mean, if it's a $100 million production or whatever the hell, that.
Well, you're not going to get the same. She was on a really beautiful course. She wasn't on like Dubs Drag.
I
over
know,
here,
I
like
know.
Raccoon peed
But
in
it-
the bushes.
But it's even a or even the cheapest golf course in Florida should have green grass at all times.
No, it's
We're living in a
expensive to
swamp.
do that.
Anyway.
And they're like living in a drought right now. I was surprised about that too, because most of like people's yards there was no grass; it was just dirt.
Oh my God. You remember that song? I'm living in a box. I'm living in a cardboard box. I don't
think-
know why I thought
No,
of
I don't know that.
it. Sorry.
There are rules in Arizona about I think
Like
you
watering?
have to pay extra to even have sod. Like you mostly,
What?
yeah. Well,
That's
just
un-American.
just because of the irrigation,
upkeep, yeah.
and it's too much water.
In our
usage.
Airbnb, our lady was very much a hippie kind of lady, and she did you could book her to do yoga or meditation classes at the Airbnb that she was renting you, which we did not do. But she had little signs all over her house of like, hey, if you can, please do not flush every time if you don't have to. Like,
Oh,
because
when
they were
it's
trying to like
water-
save water.
Gosh,
Yeah.
when it's yellow, let it mellow.
Yeah.
This lady's my
Yeah.
wife does it. It's
Dude.
disgusting. Flush it away.
They have a
It's
big
poo-poo.
water problems.
Yeah.
Like constant.
No,
like
I don't do two deuces on two. Do you guys ever
Double deuce?
No, I've never double deuce.
No.
I will never do that.
No.
I am above that. I'm a rich person now. I cannot do that. No, I will flush.
They-
No, my wife does that. I hate it.
They're actually like they're looking at their water consumption and how much water they have left, and they're like, not enough. They're like, I mean, and seriously, they're like, in this many years, not enough.
Yeah, well,
so like, I don't know what to
sorry.
do. So after you guys played golf, and that was the first day,
And
right?
play golf is a loose
Man,
term.
no,
we're
I
not,
like what you
we're not
did.
golfers.
I like what you did because you eased yourself into the. I think that's brilliant to come in there. You're outside, have a couple drinks, you're enjoying.
we had
What was
the best weather.
what was the
too,
temp?
by the way? I think the high was like 75.
So it's like 75 while you're
Yeah.
golfing. That's great, dude.
Did you
probably less than that at that point.
did you play all 18?
No, we only did 9 because
Okay,
we wanted
yeah.
to check into our Airbnb.
Yeah,
was
18
about
is
to-
too much. 9 is perfect.
Yeah.
Especially since you're walking it, which
right.
is another
we didn't
thing.
have a golf cart.
Yeah. That I've never done golf without a golf cart.
You used to have to do that when I took golf lessons and was playing a lot. That's the way you'd play, and that's the way you learned. I mean, like I remember when I was playing with friends, we'd carry our clubs. We didn't even have the little I mean, I sound like a dumb old man now. We usually carry it.
Yeah,
But like,
that's miserable.
We didn't even
Yeah.
have that. Well, that's how you learn, though.
Yeah,
You put it on your back, and you walk to where your ball is, and you set your clubs down, and you get what you're going to hit with. And
Yeah.
I've always been way too drunk to walk.
Too drunk to walk, but you could
Well, I was a
drive?
kid.
Yeah,
I was a
yeah,
kid.
Okay.
You know, I was playing
Yeah,
golf
yeah.
at like 16.
I could drive better drunk than walk drunk.
I
That's
believe Mo would tell you not to say
Tom
that on
Van
air.
You know, I'm gonna double up. I'm
Yeah.
gonna double down on this and agree with him
Because you
and
focus
say
more?
I drive better drunk than I walk drunk
No,
too.
if you put me,
The car works better than my
well,
legs.
if you had me drive down the street or walk down the street, and then had a group of people decide if I was drunk or not, they'd pick the walking. They'd be like, that guy's drunk. But
Well,
driving,
how
They
far
might
do I
think
have to
that
go?
when you're not drunk.
How
though,
far do I
because
have
you
to go?
do mad stomp around.
How far am I going drunk?
I mean, you just have to, like, walking down the sidewalk.
Didn't you
I
walk
just-
home from downtown once?
I did, and then I was too drunk to even get in the cop's car. He just let me stand in the rain.
So, what was next on the trip after golf?
Oh, I have to go back and look at everything because
Now,
I did something every day.
Let me ask you a personal question. Are you
Uh-oh.
like little Danny, where you get there, you fly in, you hit the course, couple beers, you get to your Airbnb, immediately you got to bang one out?
I don't think we did it immediately.
God, I always have to do that. It's like me on a cruise. When we get on the cruise ship, as soon as we get to a room, gotta bang one out.
Yeah,
We're on vacation. It's like
Yeah.
it's like how I start my vacation. It's like the way I start it is by doing that. I know that's a little vulgar, and I
Kick it
With
off.
the
apologize.
pre-kids, though, it has to be, like, when I go
right.
on vacation,
No, you're right.
I don't bang at all.
At
really.
all?
Not really, no. I mean,
Oh,
You gotta send
man.
her to the kids club.
well, yeah.
Bye bye.
I
You're off to the
Yeah.
kids club.
Anyway, so
Oh, the next day we went to the Grand Canyon.
so tell us about the Grand Canyon.
It was like a 2-hour drive, maybe a little over 2 hours. And I
Brown.
was,
It's
I was
very
a little
brown.
nervous. Yeah, it was like
Brown,
flat
brown.
and brown all the way out. You could see the mountains in the distance. Weird. It really did feel like you were in a movie of like you see like it'd be nothing, absolutely nothing, just
Yeah.
empty fields, and then like one little RV, and I'm like, is that Randy Quaid out
Yeah.
there? Like, you know what I mean? Because
Did
there's a lot of people that go out there looking for aliens.
Did you
Yeah,
feel like you
yeah,
were in
yeah.
Radiator Springs or Red Dead Redemption 2? Because that's what it
Travis,
looked like to me.
yeah, mentioned that, yeah.
Because like the one picture that you guys started with, I think it was with the golf one, and then he shows like those red like rocks sticking up in the and then I'm like, that looks fake.
Our Airbnb looked out at Thunder Mountain, which is like a weird Disney tie-in that
Yeah.
we did not like. It just happened to be that. Like,
So
we're-
you, the Disney
What's
lover,
Thunder Mountain?
accidentally
It's a mountain.
booked.
Oh.
You as a Disney lover accidentally booked an Airbnb that looks out over the real
Yeah.
Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So it was an actual mountain that they mimicked the Thunder Mountain ride
Right,
from?
yeah.
Okay. Does it look anything
Yeah.
like it? Okay.
That
That's
was
pretty
I mean,
cool.
kind of everything out
Yeah.
there looks like
Yeah,
Frontierland at Disney.
Yeah, right. It's just all the same. Like a desert is a desert, I guess, and the rock formations are going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
It's not going to be
Driving was sketchy, like going around the switchbacks, because like some of them they didn't have guardrails at all,
Yeah.
and if they did, they were all rusted. And then they had like these not quite chain link, but some type of fencing
to
on the
keep the
sides of the rock,
rocks.
and it's like
Yeah.
watch out for sliding rocks. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're gonna die up here.
Yeah, it's crazy that their answer to rocks not falling
They're just like,
onto
"Watch
the roads
out."
is just they put some chain link up and
Yeah.
they're like, they're gonna fall no matter what. We can't do
we're
anything.
Yeah,
we're trying.
Yeah.
But we did use the Turo service, the car rental service.
And you guys get a
which is
Lamborghini,
peer-to-peer.
right?
We did. No.
Yeah, you should have.
I think we got a 4-wheel drive just because we didn't know what kind of terrain we were going to be going.
Smart.
Worked out perfectly.
How'd you pick up the keys?
So he had a lockbox on the outside of the window.
Crane
so
machine.
You could just put it in the window and then roll the window up and then have a little digital code and then pops out the key right at the airport
That's
shuttle.
cool.
Picked it up, dropped it off, like no problems
So
at all.
good
I've heard it's
experience
super
on Turo.
easy. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I would say, like, for sure, just like with Airbnb, read all the reviews and make sure they've actually had rides before and make sure that the reviews are good, because there were some really crappy ones, and you got to make it's just like anything else.
Yeah. Do
You
your
can get
research.
screwed over if you don't do your research.
So with the Grand Canyon,
Yeah.
you go down into the canyon?
You can, we did not. You can either hike down or you can ride a donkey down.
Oh,
Okay.
My mom rode a donkey down to the Grand Canyon.
I was not doing that.
Yeah, and my mom was in this beautiful, it's burned into my brain. My mom wore this beautiful brown jumpsuit that had a white lace, kind of like a lapel. And it's burned into my brain because I remember her riding this donkey down. Like, she looked hot. Like my mom looked really pretty on this
That's a weird
donkey.
thing to say.
And then I remember, well, like she looked like she was very, like she was like done up to the nines, you know, like it was like very fancy. And then she rode down, and then she got her picture with the donkey.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was crazy photo that we had, you know. But she would every time she'd wear that, I'd be like, "It's your donkey jumpsuit."
And
We just like walked the rim of it. Not the whole way, because obviously.
Did you get? Is it a little like when you're looking down, you're like, "Ooh," does it give you like
For
vertigo?
sure, for me, I was
Yeah.
like, because I'm afraid of heights anyway.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going anywhere near like the edges to just get a cool
I don't
picture.
blame you. After Brendan told us on Friday and reminded us that we all had a friend that remember Paris stepping backwards at the Grand
I
Canyon.
don't recall that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I didn't hear
She
about that
was,
before I.
She was a local blogger and
Oh my God!
yeah, you can Google it.
what other adventures?
I ate some elk.
No, really?
I had an
Hey.
elk patty melt.
An
Yeah,
elk
yeah, yeah.
melt.
Yeah, I had
is
that at the Grand
a
Canyon.
strange.
It was good.
Was it like a ground beef elk or was it
Yeah.
a sliced?
Yeah, they made it like a patty melt.
Nice.
It was good.
Is there any other adventures in the Grand Canyon beyond because
You
most?
can skydive in.
Oh well, that's
That's cool.
That's
You
an
can do a
extreme.
helicopter ride.
Is it really touristy when you get down there, or is it like Jimmy John's or Jimmy Joe's Grand Canyon helicopter rides?
Yes, like before you get to the canyon, there's
Right.
like all kinds of weird.
Super iDrive.
There was
like-
one that was like a Bedrock City, which was like a Flintstones themed
Oh, you should
theme
have
park.
done that, dude. Bedrock City.
Yeah.
You can go see the real
A
houses.
lot of UFO tours.
Can you stay inside the Grand Canyon?
I don't know. There was a lot of inns outside and like hostels.
I'm sure you could camp somewhere.
They're really weird about camping there.
Are they?
Yeah, even in Sedona, there's only like certain areas you can actually camp.
Yeah.
Huh. So after you went to the Grand Canyon, I saw you went on a couple of hikes. Was that all around the Grand Canyon?
No, most of the hiking was in Sedona itself.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's trails everywhere.
Yeah.
So and there's the vortexes, like I was telling you guys about, where it's supposed to like have healing energy within the
Did you
the
hit
rocks.
up? Did you guys
yeah,
hit
we
up?
went to a couple of them.
Could you feel the energy?
I got lost trying to find one.
What now? What's the vortex again?
It's just supposed to be like a lot of like mediums and those types of people think that there's healing energy within the rocks.
Okay.
And there's like magnetic forces. So some of the juniper trees, as you get further up, they like twist as they grow.
Huh. So and then
High concentration of metal in a juniper tree. That's what makes it twist.
what? Yeah. I wonder what causes that.
I just,
Don't know?
I just made that up.
So besides like any other adventures, like when you go on these vacations, you mix it up with like some hiking, some food and drink.
Yeah. We hit up some breweries. And yeah, like try to find some cool local restaurants. But like I was telling Dan, nothing really stood out too much as far as the food went. Interesting grocery stores.
I love
I
one
love
of the
little
things,
small
me
mom and pop
too.
grocery stores.
I had a best time in Myrtle Beach going to their local grocery store because I was like, this is something I don't get and it's weird.
Yeah, and then you just walk down like the craft beer section and see what's local.
Yeah.
We did a train ride, a Meemaw and Peepaw train ride on my birthday.
I am a fan of a slow
Yeah,
train
it was like
ride.
a 2 or 3 hour ride.
Was it just like scenic view train ride?
Yeah,
or?
it went down the Verde Canyon River.
Okay, yeah. That when you start seeing those train,
Which there's another BDM
routes.
that lives there, or at least a listener, that hit me up afterwards, and he's like, "Oh, you went on that railroad? Like, I live right off that river. Like, next time you're in town, like, I don't know the next time I'll be in Sedona, but the next time
Yeah.
you're in town, I'll take you guys down on the river because we saw people kayaking, and I saw a listener on a mountain at Cathedral Rock.
You told me about this. So what happened? You were just walking. And
That was like
doing
our
a hike?
last day of actual hiking, and just last minute, we're like, should we go and try and do Cathedral Rock because it's supposed to be the most powerful vortex? So we're
That's
huffing
the
and
one
puffing,
to
and it was
hit,
the most
yeah.
steep that we did.
Yeah.
And again, I'm afraid of heights, so there were certain parts where it was just flat rock, right? And so if you're sitting at a certain point and you look out, it looks like it's just a straight drop. It's an optical illusion, but
Right.
I had a panic attack on that
Oh,
damn
sure,
mountain
'cause, well,
because
you
I
might-
was like, oh God, how am
you
I going to
might-
get down?
Yeah, you might think you gotten yourself into something.
Yeah, I was like, I can't get down now.
Yeah.
And then I was watching like women like slide on their butts to get down, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna slip right off this thing. So I'm almost having a panic attack, and this guy's like, top of dead for life. I'm like,
Yeah, like the worst thing.
Yeah.
Don't
What are the chances?
I know.
Like,
And I wasn't wearing anything Tom and Dan. Travis wasn't wearing anything Tom and Dan. It was just random as hell.
That is
yeah,
so
just
crazy.
recognize you. I mean, and it's
I
like,
saw what Travis was
it's not-
wearing, and he did not look Tom and Dan. He looked
No.
like he's ready. He's
Hiking
like
man.
serious hiker.
because they must have been on vacation too. It's like when you
Maybe, but I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
the locals do a lot of the hiking there too.
Yeah, I guess so. But
And they hate tourists.
yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
It's so a little bit different vibe.
There's like they do Jeep tours where they climb the mountains in Jeeps
bet
and
they
stuff.
hate
They hate
that.
that. They
Yeah.
hate the ATV tours because they're saying it's it messes up the
it
climate.
does. Yeah.
That's why we just did the hiking.
It's all rock. It doesn't mess up anything. And guess what? The tourism brings you lots of money.
It does.
So
There are arguments on either side.
you got some Jeep trails on
If
a
you-
rock.
What is it? Pack in, pack out.
I mean,
yeah.
you realize
It's
that
a-
this is the same argument like against driving on the beach that we have, right? It like ruins everything.
I like driving on the beach.
I do too, but I'm just saying that you'll see those people that's
Yeah.
like, you shouldn't do this. This is destroying the beach and yada yada.
What destroys the beach are hurricanes. Like I've seen 10,000
I
Jeeps on a
understand.
beach. The hurricane destroyed it in one day. the entire beach. And so and for the locals that don't like tourism, guess what? You move there because it's beautiful, and other people want to see it. And that's the way it goes. Like,
Jeeps are pretty cool.
yeah. Anyway, did you do any of the Jeeps or four wheelers?
No,
That's not your
because
thing,
we
though,
didn't.
right?
We were like, I was like, look, I just want to do the hiking thing. The Jeep thing would have been cool if I didn't see how much everybody hated it. And then I was
Okay,
like, yeah,
that's fair.
I don't want to mess up the terrain or
Or
make
even
anybody
be
mad that actually
perceived
lives
as
here.
you're messing up
Yeah.
the terrain, right?
It's
We
also
try to be respectful of where we go places.
it does turn out to be like $800.
It's
I
very
mean, no matter
Oh,
what,
yeah.
All
no
that
matter
stuff's
what,
so
it,
expensive.
everything's $800.
Even the
and,
train ride, I'm sure, wasn't like cheap.
No.
You know, I mean,
and then it's like it's always where it's at the point of money where that it's never you never finish it and say that was worth every penny.
Also,
really,
like-
I would agree with that.
It's always like no, the $800.
Yeah,
man, yeah.
And I followed a Facebook group, right, where it gives you like suggestions on places to go and hikes and all this. And so I did a lot of research on that, and everybody said like you have to get out to these trails early if you want to be able to do them because they have very small parking lots.
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
have shuttles that you can try and get on or
That's
whatever.
a pain in the
Can we
ass.
talk about
Yeah.
shuttle? I hate shuttles. Any shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like the shuttle is one more step. So like even when I'm going to a beer fest or going to anything and they're like, oh, overflow parking's here, you'll get a
Right.
shuttle.
Yeah.
It almost makes me go,
Never mind.
I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
this.
Well,
no shuttles.
First
for
day
me.
we got there, we bought the Red Rocks Pass, which gives you access to all the trails within the vicinity.
Nice.
Didn't use it once.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's how they
not
get you. The
nice.
old that's a
Because
scam.
either it was a place that we went to that it wasn't required, or we had to go to a place that the parking lot was full, and then we had to take the shuttle anyway. So I'm like, well, we
Right.
paid $15 for this goddamn parking pass we couldn't even use.
That is a marketing scam that I've seen with skiing too, where the new thing is, oh, buy this
Right.
season pass, you get access to a dozen ski resorts. You're like, well, I don't need access to a dozen.
Right.
I'm never even going to go to more than 3
Yeah,
at the
but
most.
by seemingly overserving you, they get that extra value money.
Because people see a dozen,
Yeah.
I'll pay this much.
Yeah.
Well, you're not even going to use it, you idiots.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's a marketing
She's
scam.
right there, man.
No, I almost. But it's a marketing
Yeah, it
scam because they sell you what seems to be a value, but not realizing
Yeah, you
like
don't need it.
I'll never visit all these places.
It's impossible to visit.
I guess
all
if
of
you
them.
were a local, it's kind of like why Disney tries
Yeah,
to.
but I'm saying like one of the places that we went to opened at 8:00. We were there at 7:20, and there was already a line of cars to get into the parking lot.
Yeah.
So it's like the
People
springs
get
here.
there early.
Yeah, like I mean, we're kind of the same setup. Anything around here that used to be nice and it used to be a place you could go to on the weekends to check out, you bitch about it all the time.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
better get there an hour, 2 hours ahead of time. You better get in line, or you're never getting in.
Yeah.
So
Or you park down the street and you hike up the goddamn
Yeah.
black asphalt.
But your photos were amazing. It looked like every place you went, like it looked like zero trouble. It didn't.
Yeah,
you know,
it was a great trip. There wasn't really anything
awesome.
negative about it.
Was what was the best part for you?
I don't know. I like the hiking.
Yeah.
I very
but I'm
much-
into hiking.
I mentioned this, I think, on the Friday Free Show. I very much, you had like a post, like you could tell like the end of your trip, and you were like, man, this is like, I feel like I thank you for the birthday wishes and all my friends and family, and this trip means a lot. It was just like a heartfelt.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this must have been a good ass trip because I
Vortex
love.
has got me being positive.
Well,
all
no,
of a
but I
sudden.
like it when you go on a trip and you don't have any. I mean, it doesn't really help much for this job because you come back and it's like, I got nothing to talk about because it was awesome. You know, like it'd be easier if, you know, for what we do, if there's some hijinks. But I'm glad you had an awesome
Yeah,
time. It looked
thanks.
amazing.
Yeah, well, being out in nature is
The
to
best.
me
It's the best.
for whatever reason.
just like
always
being
the best
outside.
feeling. Yeah. You know, and especially being in nature that's completely different than what
Yeah,
we're used
and like
to.
the Grand Canyon, that'll make you rethink your life. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a nothing here.
Which was a little
also,
more.
like stargazing is a whole thing out there too, which we didn't do much of, except for like just kind of walking out and looking up because
less light pollution, right?
Yeah.
it's like I think
It's
they call it like a
crazy.
dark city or something, but
Yeah.
it's like I was telling you guys, they don't acknowledge daylight savings time, so the sun comes up at like 5 a.m. So we're up
Oofy.
at 5 a.m. like every day, and we're in bed by like 8 or 9. So we didn't do a lot of the stargazing or the UFO
I held off
watching or
on
anything.
sending you a birthday message, and then I was sitting there talking to Tracy, and she's like, "Remember, you gotta wish Sam a happy birthday because she's so nice."
She's reminding
and,
you guys.
and I go, "Yeah, I was gonna fire one off, but it was like I'm not doing it with the time change." She's like, "No, she's up."
Yeah.
I already talked to her. She's been up. I was like, "Oh my god."
We looked out for like the first night we were there. We looked out for like I don't know 5 minutes, and I must have saw like 30 shooting stars.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
When you look,
I was
at
like, what are we
space-
looking at?
with zero light pollution,
Yeah.
it is nuts. Where You're
Yeah.
like, whoa! You're like, way more stars than I thought. This is
It's a little
incredible.
scary.
And they're
You
all
see
dying.
30. Yeah, you see 30. You're like, "What's happening?"
I
up
know.
there?"
I was
then-
like, should I make 30 wishes? What's happening?
Also,
Do it.
when you look at the Grand Canyon and you realize water carved it, you're
Yeah.
like, well,
Whoa.
nothing matters because
Yeah.
the water carved this over millions of like so long that it's inconceivable for you to even think about that. Just a river carved this
Yeah.
entire GD canyon that's so
And now I've
huge.
got my Jeep in it.
it's so massive. And that's like when I was looking at your pictures and you see pictures of people looking out at the Grand Canyon, it's just a never-ending amount of nothingness.
Yeah.
Like no humans, no
Yeah.
buildings, and like no like there's nothing.
It's much like when you're on a cruise ship and you look out at night and you're
just
like,
gonna say
it's
that.
just
An
black
expanse of
water
water, yeah,
and
yeah.
black sky and you can't differentiate. I'm like, this is insane.
That feeling, though, and I don't know how to truly
the call of sirens.
articulate this.
I wanted
but-
to jump in.
Yeah, when I look out on a cruise ship or even your photos of the Grand Canyon, it's both comforting knowing there's nothing out there and also terrifying
Yeah.
at the same time. I
Yeah.
don't understand how that works.
It's a feeling that you're so small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're just looking at this, like you're like, wow. If I was out in the middle of there,
Yeah.
I'd just be a dot in the middle of nothing.
It's what I was telling people about, like when we went to the Science Center and we looked in that super powerful $200,000 telescope.
Yeah.
And we're looking at, what was it, Jupiter?
Yeah,
I think so. And
Yeah.
it was like one of the things that like I looked at it and it, like I tell people this and they're like, no, it's hard to explain. As soon as my eyes hit it, seeing it, I was like, oh wow, it was
Yeah.
like it affected you. And I bet you had that same
Yeah.
feeling at especially being like there.
Right. Because the pictures, I mean, they look cool, but
Yeah.
it's different when you're there.
Yeah. What's it smell like, the Grand Canyon?
Desert?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
a
just
bunch of
dry?
dirt.
Yeah, I was getting like not bloody noses, but like dry nasal. Like I had to put like saline gel in my
Yeah.
nose every day.
Interesting.
I think there's a reason why they use donkeys instead of horses, and it's something
Maybe
where
because they're smaller.
no, but I think it's something like they won't get spooked off the side of the mountain.
So it's
Oh.
a safety reason.
It's something like a snake like won't cause them to like fall off the side with the person on it. Like
Too stupid to be
Yeah,
afraid of snakes.
it's something like
Too
that.
stupid to be afraid of snakes.
Like they
You can bike down it too.
Dude, biking
know,
down the Grand
it was a
Canyon
long day.
sounds like how you hurt yourself, right?
Dude, there's a lot of mountain biking out there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
like
you can
on the
rip.
side of cliffs. I was like, you guys are crazy.
yeah.
those guys are
The-
nuts. It's
the-
fun to watch, though.
All the mountain biking and like the desert activities and stuff. You could also like
a paradise.
tube down the Colorado River
Now,
too.
somebody
Yeah.
had said that on one of your pictures. Somebody said, "Hey, you can tube down," and they have this this run where you buy the tube, or I guess, or rent it, and then you could just bring a cooler if you want, and you can just float down drinking beer. And I'm like, hold on,
Oh yeah.
that sounds pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I mean, just with the views alone, floating down the
Yeah.
Colorado River,
It'd
and
be
the
like
Grand
the world's
Canyon was
best lazy
awesome.
river.
Yeah. It'd be like Jenny Springs with better views. you
Right.
know? So that's cool. I've always wanted to see the Grand Canyon. Like that's one of my.
You should take your
things
boys when you go out for your overlanding adventure.
It's a wonder of the world, man.
It
I
really
know,
is.
I know.
How many wonders of the world has anybody here seen?
That's the first one I've ever seen.
So you got Grand Canyon. You got what else do we got? What are the 7 wonders?
Pyramids, right?
Pyramids.
Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar's Hanging Gardens, which I
Hanging
believe
Gardens
is
of Babylon.
it's ruined.
Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Temple of Artemis.
Let's
A
do
lighthouse. I think glaciers are pretty cool.
Let's do a show, a 1-hour podcast from all 7 of the wonders of the world,
Let's do
and
it.
then end the show.
The Colosseum. I do want to go to Rome.
It's
Great Wall of China.
the
Taj Mahal. I've seen the one in
Taj.
Soaring.
They got the Taj. You got the wall.
That's too far. All that.
Brazil.
far?
Christ the Redeemer in Brazil.
Okay, we'll go see Christ first. That's the closest one.
Machu Picchu in Peru.
Machu Picchu. Crystal's mentioned. Her mom
She seen
went.
the Pichu?
No, her mom did the like. I guess you could do like you'd take a bus up there, or you could hike and camp like around like the backside of it or whatever. And
Pichu ass.
her
The backside of the Pichu.
Crystal's mom went and like with a group of friends, and then like it's camped for 3 days and hiked up to Machu Picchu.
That's
and,
cool.
Apparently, they don't let as many people up there as they used to. Like they limited it to try to preserve it because too much foot traffic. Like it eventually.
It is
and
crazy, like the ruins in Mexico. Like some of them you're not allowed to like go up on, but some
The
of them
Mayan
they let
ruins?
let
Yeah.
people walk up the stairs.
Yeah, they let you
outside
do-
of it.
some
I'm
of them
like,
they'll let you do
seems,
what-
bizarre.
If it's like not that big of a deal, I feel like they yeah, go up there, take a selfie
Yeah.
or whatever. But then some of the more like rare ones are like, no.
Yeah. It's always like they don't let you climb on the pyramids and stuff.
Yeah. And aren't the pyramids like tinier than we all think? Or I know at least the Sphinx is.
I don't know.
I saw a picture of like there's this. I'm trying to hone my algorithm, and on my algorithm, it's like it's like like we're gonna show you like views of famous things that you've never seen. So this one's like the backside of the Sphinx. And it's like the back of its head, and it's so tiny and kind of run down. It looks crappy.
Yeah,
Some
well, yeah,
trash
yeah,
cans
yeah.
over by, and I'm like, oh, don't show me that. Don't show me
Right.
the how tiny and crappy. Everything's tiny and crappy. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, that's like they now do that joke on social media where they show you the social video of something and then the real life
This one
and all
just
packed and
ruins
garbage.
like famous things.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
here's
yeah.
the
I
Eiffel
like that.
Tower, and they show the Eiffel Tower. And then the next one is they show all the trash by the Eiffel Tower, like Heineken bottles everywhere.
Yeah.
and,
That's
like,
it. Yeah, well,
trash.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
Got it. All right. We did no voicemails or emails.
Well, we got Man Daddy out of the way.
Sorry about that. All right, that's Monday.
Well, we'll do some voicemail now, just for a Tuesday 3. EP.
I had to try my hardest not to call him Chuck. Oh, there's 7 wonders of the modern world now. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Allergies are gone a little nutty today. Dansby slept with me for the first time.
Oh.
Twice. And he was terrible. Because in the morning...
Kicking you?
No, he sleep all night, but at 6, when he wants to get up, it's like 6. He'll march onto my stomach, stand like feet, and face right here, and just lick in my mouth until I wake up. It's horrible. Look, he's sweet and all, but... Oh, sorry, Buck Tucker. That's my puppy. He is a West Highland Terrier. I'll show you a picture. He's my best buddy. Let me go pee.
All right. Do that. Then BDM show.
What are we talking about on the BDM show?
We got a couple things.
I don't know what the hell's been going on. There was like hailstorms and tornadoes and all kinds of shit while I was gone.
There was a bunch of hail.
Trav's mom sent us some pictures at her house in Melbourne, and it looked like it was snow.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of people with fucked up roofs and
Pull screens,
Cars,
cars.
yeah.
Oh, Safe Flight got another BDM. Neil.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said it's like his third time of them trying to reinstall a windshield. I go, I tried to tell y'all.
They have cornered the market with windshields because I don't know any other company that really does. I'm sure there is.
Oh,
but,
there's a ton.
There's local guys
They
that do it.
yeah.
But they are the best at marketing.
They also, for a while, they were the only ones that could get the glass. So that's why you would go with them.
Yeah.
All right. You want to, are we coming back?
Yeah, we'll do this is Tuesday 3, and we'll just do voicemail.
Do you have anything for Tuesday already or no?
No.
No,
Okay.
no, this is it.
All right. Bring us back. Here we go.
Okay.
3, 2.
Welcome. Oh,
Ah,
no.
how cute.
Smooches.
You said bring us back.
I said I'll bring us back.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No,
I
just go-
apologize.
just
I'm
keep-
very,
just
very
Just
do
do
sorry.
it together
I didn't mean
next
to
time.
step
No,
on
no,
you.
no, no.
I
I
apologize.
don't even want to welcome back.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it either.
You're not welcome.
Yeah.
You're just you're
Get
listening
outta
to us.
here.
I'm going to start saying
I'm-
thank you when we come back because you should be thanking us when we come back, right?
I'd rather talk to no one so no one could hear my mistakes.
Okay.
So
Speaking of mistakes, most of the voicemails you guys leave are mistakes, like this one.
Hey, Tom Van American. I don't know what the Mojave is. I've always heard it called Mojave. And Mr. Daniel Lee Dennis with the big
Okay, I can't finish the voicemail. This guy's hammered.
yeah.
This guy's hammered.
So you're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, listen to
Hey,
this.
Tom Van American.
Don't. That's the guy's.
I don't know what the Mojave is. I've always
Oh,
What is he
okay.
talking about?
You said, I believe it was last week. Did you know? Were you here when he was talking about his Mojave Desert overlanding?
No.
He wants to do a Mojave Desert.
Isn't it Mojave?
No, this guy's saying, listen.
always heard it called Mojave.
Yeah, this guy's saying he's talking about you and the Mojaves.
He's always heard it called Mojave.
The Mojave Desert.
Uh,
That's what he called in to correct you because you said you wanted to do an overlanding trip with your sons. It's an adventure, and you were going to go to the
Mojave Desert.
the Mojave,
Yeah.
and then he's calling in to say like clown on you, drunk, and saying it's the Mojave.
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 Yeah, well, that,
I don't think it's Jobby.
I think
Javi, like
it-
with a V.
Mojave.
What about the Mohave?
I thought it was Mojave Desert.
The Mojave? The Mojave.
I thought it was
I-
Mojave.
I've
Yeah.
always said Mojave Desert.
Did I call it Mojave?
I think you called it the Mojave.
Okay.
As you're closer to it now that
Well,
you're an adventurer.
I think you could. That's the slang to
Mohawk.
shorten it.
Yeah, I think you're fine. I'm
Mohawk,
defending you, by the way.
Mojave.
Look, slow down. I'm defending you, by the way. This guy, this drunk man.
I'm not. Listen, I've never been there. I've always I realized how close it was to the place we stay out in Colorado. That's the only reason. And some local told
you should
us.
do it.
So yeah. But now, I mean, goddamn spending freeze.
So Mojave is wrong.
It is Mojave.
Mojave. So we were all right.
But you can say Mojave.
Yes.
Right? As to shorten.
You can.
Like
I wouldn't say it around people, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's the William to Bill. It's the
Yeah,
Mojave.
slang.
Someone in the
Moab.
chat said Tom was actually talking about Moab.
Oh, the Moab. Okay.
Oh, do you?
I don't
Oh,
even know
don't
You
where
say
that-
that.
did, you did mention that before I left.
The Moab?
Yeah, that's the Moab Desert. Yeah.
Is that the one you're doing? You're not doing the Mojave?
No, the Moab.
That's in Utah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're doing the Moab,
Yeah.
not the Mojave.
Yes.
Oh man, we really screwed
Don't
this
take
one
your
up.
wife out there and then not bring her back.
Yeah, we really screwed this one up.
I knew it. I was like, that doesn't. None of this sounds right.
Yeah. That
It's
guy's
the
super
Moab.
drunk. That guy's really, really drunk.
Anyway.
Let's go with an email. Sam, do you have a
Sure.
tasty email over there for us?
Whoa, a lizard just jumped out of my email
that's
box.
the
Oh, that's our buddy. He's
Yeah.
alive.
He was hanging out my emails.
He's alive. He's been living in our couch.
Scared the crap
and
out of
he's
me.
been pooping all
What
over
kind of
it.
lizard is that? That's a dark ass lizard.
Brought him back from the desert.
Once you go dark lizard, you never
Their
go
lizards are different out there.
back.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
weird.
That's not a traditional Florida greenie. That's
Oh
some.
my God!
what is
That's,
that?
oh my God! That's a black mamba, and he's pooping all. Did you see all the white poops on the?
I'm gonna
he's,
try to catch it and show it to the.
Oh my God.
he's. I hope that thing bites you good. And oh no,
Too slow.
too slow.
Why did you think he was not going to run when you barely, like, Mike,
He-
that was the
he
slowest
was
I've
the
ever seen
slowest.
someone try and catch a
Was
lizard.
that you use?
I thought you were about to fall over.
Was that you trying to use your element of surprise?
Well, I thought it was so weak because it's been stuck in here for
It's
now
been,
for a
it's
week.
been eating
week.
the S-flies in here.
It's been in
Yeah,
here for a week,
but-
and look, no S flies.
That's right.
None.
We got to keep him.
No,
Not a
that-
lick.
That thing is. It needs more.
Although Burn Pest did come this weekend, so now he's going to be starving.
Yeah,
We got to
yeah.
bring more bugs in.
He's
That
been
thing's-
pooping all over the couch too. I have to wipe it down. And did you know that lizards, when they poop, it has a little bit of white, like a bird poop?
It's too dry in here. That thing's as good as dead.
No,
I
I've been
thought-
wetting it down in here every night to keep him
He's going to
alive.
jump in the ice machine.
No, I come back and I wet the carpet down every night. I do. I slept with a wet blanket because I couldn't figure out how to use the dryer over the weekend. You'll hear about it on the BDM show.
Oh my
Sign up
God.
to be a BDM. TomandDale.com.
All right, so this email is about Arnold has no abs. Hey, Sam, I stand with Ross that some people don't have abdominals. I sent in an audio argument that Arnold Schwarzenegger did not have abs, and I got crapped upon
Yeah, you did.
by all the narps in the studio. They think anybody with less than a dad bod has abs. That's not the case. Don't take my word for it. I'm a 50-year-old alcoholic dad, but maybe ask Seth. If he says I'm wrong, then I will admit
What does he
defeat.
say? Arnold has abs. We've pulled up multiple photos. You're an idiot. You call every time you.
What
left
do you mean?
a-
Is that abs? Like every human has
No, but
the
he's
same
saying,
muscles.
He's saying that Arnold Schwarzenegger does not have, when he was Mr. Olympia,
He
visibly
did attach
cut,
photos.
visibly cut abs, and
Maybe
he
he
does.
means like a six-pack, because he doesn't quite have a six-pack. But
Well, if you have
he has
five,
abs.
if you have 4 or 5,
I think he's
give
got
you
the
the
4
six.
quadrants.
Yeah, well then you have it.
But also,
have abs.
there's different poses where you suck your stomach
Sure.
in,
Yeah.
and you're
Or
not.
you activate those muscle groups.
Well, yeah, but so when you suck, there are poses where it looks like he doesn't have the stereotypical six pack because he's not flexing that
Right.
as part of the pose. But if he flexed his abs,
He
he
has
has
abs.
abs.
Yeah,
So
like-
he has a picture of Arnold and a picture of Seth, and he says one has abs and the others does not.
No,
But ask
one is
Seth-
activating his abs, the other is just standing around.
And just so you don't think I'm a fat dad hater, this is me right before my 50th birthday this year. I'm not just hating. Maybe Arnold has abs by NARP standards, but not by anybody else's standards.
Oh,
He was
this
a
just an excuse
bodybuilder.
for this guy to show his picture of how good he looks?
Yeah.
But
Okay,
he also
I get it now.
He was Mr. Olympian. He
Yeah,
won.
he had abs. This guy's
Like
wrong.
he went. Like you don't win bodybuilding competition by not having abs.
No, this guy's having a tough
What's
time
wrong?
in saying that he's wrong. We have a lot of listeners
Yeah,
that
but-
cannot admit they're wrong.
But it's a weird argument, right? Like
I don't
I got a lot of those in my emails today.
I don't understand
what-
what he's arguing. I've pulled up every picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Olympia, and he has defined ab muscles. What are you trying to argue?
But not even that. Like the only reason people see their abs is because they lose their body fat, right? You get
Which
down,
you have to do to be Mr. Olympia.
and when you get down to a certain body fat percentage, you're going to see someone's abdominal muscles because every human has abdominal muscles. Like every human has biceps and triceps and quadriceps and you know what I'm saying, and lats and every other muscle. And now I understand that you could be skinny enough and gaunt enough and malnourished enough where your body's not only eating your fat but your muscle too,
Right.
And then you have almost, you see people with anorexia and things like that, like they don't have much muscle definition at all because their body
they don't have any muscle.
because their body ate it for energy. But for everybody else, even bigger dudes that have like the Samoan guys that are like athletes or whatever that are on football teams,
Like Samoa Joe
like they
from AEW Wrestling.
or the like strong men and stuff, like they have fat over their abs, but if they lost their body fat, they'd
They'd
be
be
Still
shredded.
ab muscles, yeah.
There you go.
Like and they'd have ab muscles, and even the regular like non-athletic guys that are chubbier, they have ab muscles under their fat, and if they somehow lost all their fat in a day, you'd see their abs.
Right.
I don't understand
But
what
his argument is, I think it's purely about muscle definition.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying he's wrong. I don't even need to explain it more. I'm like, look, I saw the photo. You're
Why?
over explaining it. Like this guy's just dead wrong.
But is this a thing on the internet that
No.
Arnold doesn't have abs?
No.
Look up Arnold doesn't have abs. And
No,
see.
this is just
Google-
a guy.
no,
that-
Google
no,
will
this
tell
is just
us.
a wrong man. This is just one of our listeners who is like,
Because
wrong.
I often find at least if something's a thing by just searching in Google, and if I said
It's not a
Arnold
thing.
doesn't have, and then I started with A, and then it says
no,
abs.
it's not a thing.
First answer that I have here. Hold on, let me get. There's also a Reddit thread, but it says, "How is it that the greatest bodybuilder of all time, Arnold Schwarzenegger, couldn't even obtain a six-pack of abs?" It says the reason
but he
is
did
because
have
of
a six-pack of abs.
the reason is because of genetics. Some people have 8 visible abs, some have 6, some only have 4, like Arnold.
Right. So here's my take.
So, like I said, he didn't have a six-pack, but he had abs.
No, but if he has 4, he has the 6 because he's not able to attain the 6 because of the way he's built. So that's why I'm saying this guy's wrong. You
Hold on,
can't.
you- are there people that only have 4 abs?
Well,
I've never
visible
seen that.
No, just because of their body geometry. Like you and I are built differently. If you,
Ab shape and design is all up to genetics.
Okay,
they're
well,
still
this
there.
Is, well,
they're
then
just not visible because of if he cuts. He's only going to show 4 because of just the way he's maintained. But he has 6 visible there. They're just, you can't see them because of the way his body's made.
Well, that lends it closer to his argument then, where I didn't know that genetically some people don't have the ability to have
why does
visible
everything
abs.
have to be just no? Stop. This guy's not right. You no.
Well, it's
no,
closer
no,
right
no.
than I thought
No,
before.
He has
absolutely not.
abs.
No, absolutely not. If a guy that only has 4 that show visibly, or a guy that has 8 that show visibly, or
There's
a guy
still
that has
abs.
6, yes, thank you. That's where it stops. It never goes any further. It's just you're built differently. I'm 5'2", never going to be taller than that.
Well,
So anything within this realm, that's as high as I can get. So if Arnold Schwarzenegger cuts to the fact that he has no body fat and wins Mr. Olympia, he has abs.
Well-
that's the argument.
so he only has 4 visible abs.
Says no amount of crunching or direct ab work will get you an 8-pack if genetically you have a 6-pack. That's just the way it works. Arnold had an excellent ab development, so don't think
Right.
that him not having a 6-pack
Right.
means that he didn't work hard enough or, quote, couldn't obtain it. He simply had a 4-pack as was determined by his genes.
So some people just have 4 packs. When Ross is on here, it's like some people you have to work out your abs to be able to get it, to be able to see them.
Not for everybody.
And then, my thing was it's all about the diet. Like everybody
True.
has abs, but I guess some people have 4 abs, some people have 6 or 8.
People do not realize that 6-packs, 8 or 10-packs are like fingerprints. No 2 6-packs look a line on any man. They look similar like fingerprints do, but not the same.
That's
The more you
interesting.
work out, only refines the details of your body prints.
There you go.
So on those abs, like there is some sort of muscular structure below Arnold's 4-pack to hold his body together. Everything like that's but
He's
that
got a loose belly.
is that
that's what I'm
is
saying.
that
It's-
muscular structure just flat then?
I would
I think it's
imagine,
more of
yeah.
a flat muscle than a.
Defined
Yeah.
bump muscle,
Right.
right? Because like
You ever seen a guy that lifts tons of weight, but he never has pecs? He just like flat boobs.
Yeah, that's your genetic.
That's just your genetics.
You
it's
still
the same
have-
thing. You still have the muscle there. It's just you're shaped differently.
Yeah, there are a thing called like muscle belly something or tendons.
That's what I call myself, muscle belly.
Michael talks about this, our trainer, but he talks about like in bodybuilders will have longer muscle tendons, like their bicep. You know, like some people's bicep will be connected further from their elbow joint. Like their bodybuilders' muscles go from basically the start of a normal bicep where your shoulder is all the way to your elbow. And then so the muscle has the ability to grow bigger,
right.
And then some people's muscles connected like 2 inches from your elbow bend, and therefore it's more compact. And that's just genetics and how your
that's
muscle.
just the way you're built.
Still a bicep though, and you can still grow it.
Right.
It's just you're not growing it as big.
That's why, like, I think what this guy's saying is insane because 4, 6, 8 doesn't matter. If you're cut to a point where you have like next to zero body fat, you got abs.
Yeah.
The thing is, his argument was if he would have just said Arnold Schwarzenegger has only 4 abs instead of 6 genetically, then that would have been like, oh, that's an interesting
That's
fact.
not what he said.
I know
he's
he said
saying
no
he has
abs.
no defined ab muscles, which is not correct.
Yeah, he should have just said he has 4 genetic abs, and some people or most
Why
people
did
have
he
6.
call and leave the voicemail? Did he say, was there something mentioned about Arnold Schwarzenegger and six-pack, or is it just
Well,
Ross talking about wanting to get
Ross,
a six-pack?
I think it was Ross.
Okay.
Because I was arguing that every human has abs.
But I would also say, and I don't even think you're understanding this because you're way too literal and logical about stuff, is 4, 6, 8 doesn't matter. That's a six-pack. Arnold Schwarzenegger with 4 abs, six-pack.
Well, I guess
4, 6, 8 doesn't matter.
4-pack,
No,
8-pack.
no, you don't call it that. No one ever says, "Oh, he's got a 4-pack." That's not a thing. If you have visible abs and you have next to zero body fat, whether you have 4, 8, 10, doesn't matter. You have a 6-pack. It's just the generic way we say it.
Oh, okay.
And I will fight that until I die.
Well, that's semantics.
Yeah, but I
Hey.
hate. Yeah, but that's what you do. I hate. Oh no, there's a 6-pack. It's a 4-pack. No, the guy's just got a 6-pack. Can we all just agree that everything doesn't have to be like, oh no, it's 4. No, it's a 5-pack. No, it's a 6-pack.
Well, I find it interesting that some people only have genetically 4 abs, and some people have
they
6
have 6
and 8.
abs, but you're just not visible.
Well, the last 2 abs are flat.
They're still there.
I guess calling them abs, or I guess
They are abs. They're just not visible abs.
Defined abs. You know, you could say some people only have 4 defined abs. Some people have 6. Some people have 8.
Do we really want to play that game where you're like standing there and there's a muscle guy and you're like, oh, you
What?
have 4 defined abs and 2 flat abs? Nobody says that. Is my
Well,
point.
It's
not a
interesting.
thing.
Of all there's other muscles are not really like that. You know, I guess some people have like triceps that are more puffy or defined than, you know.
I'm a puffy tricep.
Some
man.
people have the straight U tricep, and some people just have the line, I guess.
I have the
there's
good
all-
one. I don't exercise it, but I have the one that looks the best when you do it.
Or
Because
the
Michael's told me that. He's like, oh, you have the thing with the thing. And I'm like, oh,
Can
thank you.
everybody have like a runner's cut too? I guess if you lose enough weight,
I can't. Too fat.
Well, I'm just saying. If
Like
you,
right here, I have so much loose skin in my
Oh,
like,
okay, wait.
right down here. I've tuck it all into my underwear. It's one of the reasons why I wear tighty whities is I'm able to take my belly skin and tuck it all around, and I have to be careful because I need the elastic around my thighs to be tight because that holds in all my belly skin around my genitals and my thigh area.
Have you guys seen what's happening with Bam Margera?
I don't know the
A
reason.
little bit.
I know that on Friday when I left here, he was on the lam and he'd run into the woods, and
He turned himself in. I do know that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
He
that.
did turn himself in. He has a lawyer now because, he's into some trouble, like
Yeah, yeah.
domestic
What did he do?
disturbances. I guess he threatened to kill his brother,
Yeah, well,
and then he ran off into the woods.
Well, Jess could beat him up easily.
well, he's now threatening to kill his family members, and that's where
That'll fix it.
it's
It'll
like-
fix it.
I'm looking at it, and it's
I
everybody.
think he needs
He's
to go
doing
on,
interviews now too on other podcasts. We might be able to get
he
him
needs
on
to
our
go on
show.
tour
I
with
s-
Steve-O. That'll fix it.
Now Steve-O talks. It's like, but it's so
Oh, God.
listening to
I don't
Steve-O
even
with
care
glasses
anymore.
and gray hair, like talk.
Be the voice of reason.
Yeah, like as a former addict and
know.
how he needs to get clean and stuff, like you never would have foreseen this happen in 2001, where you're just like, one day Steve-O will have gray hair and glasses and be talking about how the proper way to
Recovery,
recover.
yeah.
It's like, oh my God. And then
He's talking about healthy eating the other day on his podcast.
what
How to get rid of inflammation.
what podcast was he on with the there was some girl
I was
dressed like
watching
the
that.
Hello Kitty?
Yes, yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. I saw a clip of it on TikTok.
Is that a
too.
famous podcast?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
not familiar with her.
Who's the Hello Kitty girl? Like, it's funny because there's so many popular. Like, I bet this girl has 200,000 downloads a show, or
Oh,
like
yeah.
some ridiculous.
Destroys us.
Never even. She was talking to Bam Margera on her podcast, and I was like, never even heard of this person, or like.
It says it was the first episode of her podcast.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the first episode of That Surprise Podcast.
Was it just some crazy person he knew?
Episode 1. BJ Investigates is her name on YouTube here.
She's got 113,000 subscribers, so that's pretty good.
No, I'm saying, like this person's a big. Obviously, Bam Margera. She landed Bam Margera. How did that happen? She must have known him, right, in some way.
Or slipped in his DMs.
Yeah,
and was
I
like,
mean, you really
I
never
support
know.
you.
You never really know, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when crazy people will do crazy things, where they'll like drive down.
It's gonna
some
be a
lady's
whim.
house.
Yeah. And so I watched some clips of it on TikTok, and it's just ramblings of a crazy
I have
person.
to change my life.
Legal
'cause
fund to help with the lawsuit of Bam's guardian. Why do we have
No,
to
I'm not paying for
raise
that.
money for Bam Margera?
Yeah, you sell some more skateboards, you turd. I'm not paying a lick for anything you do. Sell more of those Heartogram skateboards, you turd. Sell your boards.
Now, I guess. Well, he's going at it negatively, threatening to kill everybody, or whatever.
Yeah,
But essentially,
I have to change my life because this freeze frame.
this is a famous person going through a mental crisis, and no one cares.
Yeah.
And
There's too many chances. Look up
Yeah.
up on the screen. Do you see him?
Yeah.
That looks like me. I got to change my life.
Oh my God.
That looks like me from
I
the
thought
side.
that was you.
It looks like me. Look at his beard. I gotta shave my
Well, you
beard.
just got a white guy with a beard.
No,
it
all
looks like
white-
every
I
white
look
guy
like-
with a beard.
I look like Fat Margera.
It looks like every one of our listeners.
to-
If you
yeah,
have-
it does.
If you have a hoodie on, it's
Every one of our listeners is a Fat Bam Margera.
well, every white dude who's in his middle age has a black gray beard.
Look how bad this
and
looks.
is a
Oh my
little,
God.
puffier in
Puffy.
the face.
I got to get rid of the puffy. That looks just like me.
he's a middle-aged man.
No, I got to
Fine.
change it.
But anyway,
Or maybe I'll start wearing more hoodies and sunglasses.
what are the chances this ends up being good at the end?
I think good now
you do.
because it's we're nearing rock bottom. We're there, right? And that's when things do get better. Is when you get like the law enforcement, when you're like court ordered and you can't get out of it.
Well, he's been court ordered before.
Yeah.
But I mean, like now he's arrested though, right? Then they get him.
Remember,
Well, he turned himself in and he just paid bail. He's not doing any time.
remember Jeff Conaway. We all watched him on Celebrity Rehab, and
I felt bad.
we all made
I
fun
laughed
of him.
and I laughed.
And that guy was rocketing to death and died because his addiction
Yeah. I
was
mean,
so
it
boring.
can happen.
He could not ever get out of it.
It can
Like it
happen.
was that bad. Is Bam Margera in this with his mental illness, obviously,
Yeah.
and
I
addiction
think
problems?
so, because he also is not like.
It's alcohol, right?
I think it's more than that.
his
but
personality's a narcissist. Obviously,
that's the point. Is
you
he
know,
never takes accountability. Everything he's the victim always.
So yeah,
So until he can finally admit that he might be the problem, he's
Yeah.
gonna rock it to death.
Might be.
and
Ooh,
and
it's
Steve
gonna be tougher than that.
Like
yeah.
you look at the opposite of that, and then Steve-O was at one point in time, like at the height of.
Oh, he was the
Steve-O,
worst one of the
like
gang.
you would have
Yes.
said, like this person could never. But I feel like Steve-O didn't have the, or at least as much of the narcissism attached to
No,
it. as
Steve was
Bam.
a people pleaser, man.
Yeah, and then so when he got into rehab,
he wasn't
realized
enabled like Bam was either by Bam's own family. I'm not saying they caused this, but they certainly didn't help.
Right.
Well, it looks like at least his mom cares about his well-being.
I don't
and
know,
his
She
brother-
also enables him too, because he
that-
was on Celebrity Rehab.
In that
and-
documentary that I watched that they just put out, I want to say like 4 months ago, the one I told you to
Yeah.
watch, I did not like the way she was framed. Like it looked as if she just kind of like, he's
that's just how he is.
yeah, it's just the way he does it. And
Well-
I'm like, oh man.
there are like parents of addicts that just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, you gotta put your
know,
hands
like,
on 'em.
and you're
Yeah.
like, unless he wants to help.
Right.
So like,
True.
a lot of times they seem uncaring, but you don't like the years that they've been through this over and over that they finally have just said, I will not enable him anymore. But it's his choice to get clean. I will not help him. So like almost like their nonchalant or lack of caring. It seems harsh, but it's because of 20 years of this behavior. They can't take it anymore.
Yeah, but it seemed a bit still plugged in, still enabling a little bit. Just from my perspective, like when I was watching it she seemed like she still kind of kowtowed to what he did. And
it's your son, it's like it's hard, man. Like I've seen it before where it's just like you want to help the person, you don't know how to help them, and then all the professionals like the only way to help them is to cut them off and to not help them.
He's got to hit rock bottom.
But it's hard. It's your son, It's
Sure.
like it's your friends or family.
Easier
it's
said
hard.
than done.
Exactly.
For sure.
Correct.
And then when they finally get to that point and they interview him and they're like, wow, this person's a real bitch. We're like, no, it's been 20 years of this. I feel worse for his dad because your crazy son
he seems sad.
is in the news and he got famous for punching you on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is there a part of you, if you were punched on the toilet enough, is there a part of you that's glad you're like, you know what, this guy deserves it?
No.
I'm sick of being punched on the toilet, man.
But
just a little bit. Just rough him up a little bit.
I think his last video I was watching this morning where it's just like TMZ released his he's on social media again.
Oh God.
And then he's going through these crazy ramblings and then he says like, Lamar Odom, I do accept
yeah.
your help.
Oh yeah.
So like the story, it's so ridiculous because TMZ is reporting what's on his social media, which is ridiculous.
Randomness.
Because it's like you're reporting. Like TMZ is a legitimate news source now, right? But their report is something. The ramblings
just anything
of
that's clickbait.
I know, but it's just like the Bam Margera, who's obviously mentally ill and
he needs help,
and he's an addict and he
really needs help.
He makes a crazy video, and TMZ's like, look what he said, and he will accept Lamar Odom's help. Are you reporting that? It's just what is he saying? Anyway,
you got another email over there?
Sure.
It's sad though.
It is sad, but it does reach a point where like we're all kind of sitting back here looking at it because we thought he would have received the help. Man, I thought he would have received the help after he freaked out the first time after Ryan Dunn passed away.
Well,
I thought he'd already be
everybody. If you're a middle-aged person, I feel like you've experienced within your realm of your world an addict.
Oh yeah.
And then, so I think like most people have, it's like experiencing someone who's had cancer within your realm. Right?
You've experienced.
You've seen it, and then it's got to be at least a little comforting. Where like, oh, this disease can happen to anybody, even with a person with unlimited resources.
Yeah.
And that's how bad it is. So like this person who has the money and people will help him and it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yep.
Tom 2, The Revenge.
What is this?
This guy is replying back. He had emailed in prior about the GoFundMe pages and Tom complaining about them.
Oh,
He
God.
has a reply.
I'm just joking around, God.
But hold on. You won him over, Tom.
Oh,
He
we
said-
rattled a lot of scammers with our
No. I just don't think they
people
knew
realizing they can pay
the
for
way
it.
they looked in society.
I think a lot of people too are realizing that when you buy that cat or dog, that it is up to you to pay for the veterinarian bills, and you should think of those
What?
things. You should think of it.
Okay, so he says, so I'm the douchebag. I understand Tom's point of view more, and I made a mistake. I don't have a GoFundMe. I've never used it before. You were justified using the GoFundMe for your brother, and I understand that. I just wanted to apologize. I work overnights, and I listen to your podcast and have been for a long time. I don't hate Tom. I think it was a case of me feeling rubbed the wrong way that morning. It's on me for being dumb. Thanks for the shows. Douchebag out.
No, you're not a douchebag. Just because we disagree on something doesn't mean you're a douchebag.
Yeah, no, and you questioned it. I even questioned it. It's like, when is this appropriate? But I think that society knows, and we all know when we see it, right? And then
I think so.
And when you ask for something that's a luxury item, that's not really a necessity or emergency, or and then especially if you may be able to afford it, but don't want to because it's too much money, then you start looking at it like, okay, well,
because it puts you above what would be a reasonable and a good, like a responsible purchase, right? And that's not for us to pay for. It's up to you to sort of live within your means and not take risks, and then look at the society swirling around you and say like, well, I made a decision. I bought something that's above my means, and the only way I'm going to be able to right the ship is if you guys help me out. That's when it gets weird.
Or if, like, in everybody's life, they have something come up that is unexpected, and you have to pay for it. You don't want
Like
to.
Maisie.
Right? yeah. It's like you get some medical bills or some things, and you're like, oh man,
Sure.
like this ruins my whole plans. Like I can't go on my vacations. I can't go do these things. Like even me recently, I had some medical bills that we got to pay, and then I was like, oh God, this stinks. And then you like, you know, and I don't want to pay it, but it's like.
That's life.
It's not the that is life, and then it happens to everybody. But so.
Nobody wants to pay their bills.
Like,
In those circumstances, asking your friends and family for them to pitch in is questioned sometimes when it's like, wait a minute, is this just something you don't want to pay? Well, guess what? That's what none of us want to do. We all have to do it.
Well, that's why I'd like to remind you guys that if you go to tomanddan.com right now, on the front page, right there by the dynamic lead, there is a link to the GoFundMe about my wife's breast augmentation.
We do have a donate button on the website.
We do. That's what it's for.
But that's
I'm trying to get her some big, hard, what do you think, ease?
Now, but see,
something stretched, tight.
That's even different because you could ask for a joke donation or something above and beyond that's an obvious joke.
But you gotta ask for it and say it's a joke, but it's not really a joke.
I should have posted my Venmo on my birthday. Damn.
I thought you were going to.
That's
I was
fine.
going to
All
buy
that's
you
fine.
drinks. I was ready.
All that is fine because you could ask for, like, hey, I want to get my wife bigger boobs, and will you guys pay for it? If it's jokey enough, who cares? People are like, all right, I'll pitch in.
Let's do it.
Hey, so then you could do that. The problem comes when you put the ask and then you make it seem like you can't pay for it, or this is an unfortunate
then
scenario.
you're lying a little bit.
Yeah. Or you lean towards.
That's when it gets weird for me.
Deception.
If you're just honest about it, if you're like,
you're
look,
honest,
I don't want to pay for this because it's way crazy, but if you guys want to buy it for me, I'd have no problem with that. I mean, it's a little douchey, but it's better than the.
Well, nobody has to donate either if they don't want to.
Correct.
The panhandlers took this approach a while back when they're like, I need this for
Cash
beer.
App,
or like
now they have their Cash App on their signs.
or even the karate
I never
lessons.
use it, though.
Like you go joke or you just say you're going to buy beer. People actually like that.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to do to homeless people that put their Cash App number on there? I'd like to hit them up on the Cash App and have them pay me. I'm like, you owe me $20.
Oh.
Yeah. Send them a bill.
I get a lot
They
of
hate
Cash
that.
App
They hate
requests. That's a scam, right? People just send those out.
Not if it's Seth or Pabone or any of the people that
Oh,
work with the
yeah.
show.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
You know who it is that's asking
I mean,
you?
if it's like
It
friends
says
of the
something
show,
about
you owe them
T-shirts,
money.
Paul Biotti's about some cruise thing.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, what's a?
You got another email over there?
BDM car tag could get you laid. I'm currently rocking one of those boss-ass black and white BDM front plates. I've had a couple of awkward conversations about it, but when a house full of older single black women figured out what it means, it's all smiles and giggles and, quote, let's see what you're working with type of attitude.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
I don't know. He was at some house party and they saw his...
And then some big black mama saw his plate and then they were all
he said
got
what
horny.
BDM stood for and they were like, well, let's see what you're working with.
And he pulled it out and he got laid?
He says, I am not a millionaire and I am very happy in my marriage, but watching women have fun with an idea out loud is priceless. Have any of you guys experienced awkward moments with the BDM moniker? The tag has done wonders for my self-esteem and public encounters. Anyway, thanks for the things and also the stuff.
I refuse to tell people what it means
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm embarrassed of it.
I say best damn member
That's what I
all
say.
the time
I
because
say best damn members.
you know what happens? This happened to us at Steve Martin this weekend where I met a listener who was there, and then a listener was there with his wife and the wife's dad. He's like, this is my father-in-law. Tell him what BDM stands for. I think like,
Why
Oh
did they
my
do that?
God.
Why did they do that? That's not fair.
because
People scream sucking fat teas in the middle of parking lots at me, and I'm like, don't do that. I'm with my mom.
Don't do that.
And, but
Not
I,
when she's with
but
her
I
mom.
just say best damn member, sir, and then I just go on. Like,
I say best damn
I mean,
members.
like, I'm not gonna tell him because what are you trying
If
to
you
do?
know, you know, man.
And
I'm not-
also, he already knows because
Yeah.
by you saying that to me, he's not. You know, your
You know
father-in-law
what
is
you
gonna
need
ask.
to do, though? Like, next time somebody tries to do that, you need to look at the person, like the old man that you're like, oh, tell this old man what it stands for. And you need to look him right in the eyes and say it really crazy loud. Just big D millionaires. Is that what you wanted?
Or that'll be like some sort of pedophile group.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
say
look
that.
like that. Oh my
No,
God!
well,
What
I'm-
is that, Nambla?
No, I'm telling him because I'm making fun
Yeah,
of it.
flip
like,
it on him.
Your son-in-law
Yeah.
is a horrible
Flip it on.
person.
Turn to him and go, "Did you know your son-in-law's gay?"
He's registered.
And I'm his lover. Say that, and then put your arm around him. That'll freak out Grandpa.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
Oh, you don't
That's
want to
a
power
fast
through?
out.
Well, because I didn't want
It
to
is
get all the way.
12:17, yeah.
If we're gonna start, I still got to go get some lunch. I don't want to go too far.
Tuesday 3. 31 minutes.
All right, I'll run the Publix. I'll be back.
Yeah, I gotta go there too.
I have to watch this podcast now.
I only saw a couple clips from it. It's weird that people are like, "Oh, thank you for giving him a platform, and this is the most coherent I've ever heard him." And I'm like, really? Because he sounds like he's fucked up to me.
Really?
He's like slurring everything, you know.
Oh man.
Unless that's just how he talks now.
He holds his teeth together,
Yeah,
so
he does
everything
the-
just kind of talks
Which
like that.
usually, like, pillheads do.
Yeah, it does make me think of that.
Do you